What if I told you that you could guarantee you're ready for half of the GED Social Studies test by mastering just one subject? It's true. A full 50% of your GED Social Studies score comes from Civics and Government. I'm going to give you a complete overview of the four main topics you'll face in this section. Let's get into it.
Okay, the first topic is the foundations of democracy. This is all about the big ideas behind the U.S. government. First, you'll need to know the basic types of government. You'll see questions that expect you to know the difference between a monarchy, which is ruled by a king or queen, an oligarchy, which is ruled by a small group of wealthy people, an authoritarian or dictatorship, which is ruled by one powerful leader, and a democracy, which is ruled by the people. So, now that we know those, let's talk about the U.S. system. It's built on a few core principles. These are the big three ideas you must know. 1. Separation of powers. This is the idea that government power is separated into three branches, so no one part gets too strong. 2. Checks and balances. This is how each branch controls or checks the others. 3. Federalism. This is the system of sharing power between the one big federal or national government and the 50 state governments. Finally, this topic covers key documents. You don't need to memorize them, but you will need to read short parts of them and answer questions. You'll see excerpts from the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, which was our first failed government, and the U.S. Constitution. This next topic flows perfectly from the last one. We just said power is separated, right? Well, here's how it's separated. First, you have the legislative branch. This is Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. Their main job is to make laws. Second, you have the executive branch. This is the president, vice president, and the cabinet. Their main job is to enforce laws. And third, you have the judicial branch. This is the Supreme Court and other federal courts. Their main job is to interpret laws and decide if they're constitutional. That big power is called judicial review. On the test, you'll get a question or a political cartoon about a real-world event. You'll have to identify which branch is doing the action, or how one branch is checking another. For example, the president vetoing a law from Congress is a classic example of checks and balances. This is one of the most important topics. It's all about your rights as a citizen. The GED test will definitely ask you questions about the Bill of Rights. Those are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. You'll be given a short scenario and have to pick which right is being talked about. Pay special attention to the First Amendment, freedom of speech, religion, and press. The Fourth Amendment, protection from illegal searches. And the Fifth and Sixth Amendments, your rights when you're accused of a crime, like the right to remain silent. You'll also want to know about a few other key amendments like the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which ended slavery and guaranteed equal protection, and the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. Finally, this topic includes your civic responsibilities, the things you are expected to do as a citizen, like voting and serving on a jury. Okay, our last topic is how all this comes together in the real world. Politics. This section covers how we choose our leaders and make our laws. You'll need to understand the election process. The biggest concept here is the Electoral College. You'll need to know how it's different from the popular vote, which is just the total number of individual votes a candidate gets. You'll also see questions about political parties, like Democrats and Republicans, and how they, along with interest groups and the media, try to influence the government. And finally, you'll need to know how an idea actually becomes a law. You'll see charts or passages that show the process of a bill becoming a law, from Congress to the president's desk, and all the steps in between. And that's it. Those are the four main areas of civics and government. 1. Foundations of democracy, the big ideas. 2. The The three branches, the structure. 3. Your rights, the rules. 4. Politics and elections, the real-world game. See? It's not so bad. It's not about memorizing facts. It's about understanding the system. If you can read a passage and identify who has the power and what right is being discussed, you will be in perfect shape to master this half of the GED Social Studies test. Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped you, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next part in our series. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. Now, go check out some of our practice questions on this topic. You've got this.